It's Sue from Stamping Sue in Connecticut. How you doing today? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a center easel card. So it's just, and then it sits up like this. There's the side view. But for mailing, it just lays flat. It's a fun card. So let's get started. Now, you're going to start out with the regular size note card. Don't worry about the measurements. I'll put them on the screen. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. Score it at 4 1/4 and fold. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a pencil mark right here at 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches from both ends. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little cutter. I'm going to open up the cardstock, and where I put that little tick mark at 1.5 inches, I'm going to cut it straight down to the fold line. Just like so. And then we're going to do that on the other side. Do the same thing. Right down to the score line at 4 1/4 inches. And this is your basic card. These two pieces right here are going to be taped down. This one's going to be the loose one for the easel part. So I'll show you the pieces of the card we're going to work with. We're going to have an inside white layer that measures 3 by 4 1/4, and then we have some pattern papers, and the pattern papers are going to be 1 1/4 inches, 1 1/4 by 4, and 2 1/4 by 1 7/8. You're going to need 2 of those solid rectangles and 2 of these. We're going to put them aside for now. And here again is the basic card. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to tape on our long pieces here. Here's one. Here's the second one. And you know I like to use my ATG gun, my favorite adhesive. So now we're just going to layer those onto those 2 side flaps. There's one. The second one. Alright, so there's our 2 side flaps. Now they're going to be taped down, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie some twine just to make a couple bows. So we're just going to tie this. Now, I'm not very good at tying bows, but I'm just going to do one here. As I said, maybe if I turn it towards myself, I can do better. 1 and 2. There we go. That's not bad. And then we'll just snip off the ends. And again, we'll take your favorite adhesive. Mine is my ATG gun. And I'm just going to run some tape down there. And I'm going to tape that down. Now, the one thing to remember here is you want the edges to match up. Sometimes when it's cut like that, there we go. So now that's all nice and matched up. Now, I'm just going to tape the other side down. I'm not going to have you watch me do a silly bow again. Again, you want to make sure the ends match up. There we go. So now we have these taped down, and here's your centerpiece. Now what we're going to do is fold this in half to make our easel mechanism. I'm not much one for measuring unless I have to, so I'm just going to fold it in half. This is a heavy cardstock, so I'm going to give it a good fold with my bone folder. Now here is my card. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is, we're going to take this apart because and the best thing about ATG is it doesn't become permanent right away. I forgot to tell you, before you tape down your sides, you're going to put in your inside layer because it is a bit bigger, but it's going to be taped down so you're not going to see it. This is good. You see my mistakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my white layer and I'm going to center it right in the middle there. So we'll put some tape on it and we'll just center it right in here. And I'll show you another mistake I did too. There we go. So now that's taped on the inside of your card. So I'll just put a little extra tape on here just to make sure it sticks. Now this time we'll really fold it over and glue it down. So again, we're going to tape this down, and you see it's going to cover that edge, so you're not going to have anything bumping there. We're just going to match that up, give it a good press. Do the same thing to the other side. And press it down. This time we're going to give it a good press so it'll stay down. Now we have our white piece here in the middle. Now remember, we took this center piece and we just folded it in half to make the easel portion. Right like that. So now we're going to set that aside and we're going to work on our centerpiece. Now basically what I did for this is I just stamped an image, and all the images for this card happen to be Unity stamps. And this is their ugly sweater set. I love this set. I think it's so much fun. I just got it, so I had to make some cards this year. So what I'm doing is I'm just using some inexpensive watercolor. So I'm going to spritz some water in it. This is just plain water. Just to activate some of the colors. I have a water brush here. Has the water in the barrel. So I'm just going to do a little quickie coloring here. Just take the tree, add a little color. Now this is an inexpensive set of watercolor, so there's not a lot of pigment in there. So you might have to go over it a couple times, let it dry, and just get some color in. But basically that's all I did, just some simple basic coloring, like so. I'm not going to have you sit through all of that because I have one already done. Right here. This one I watercolored. And it's all done. So now what I'm going to do is I cut this out with regular die. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ATG and this is a scallop circle that I cut out of another die. And I'm just going to tape this onto the scallop, like so. Okay, so now we're going to come back to our base card here, and we're going to take our two little rectangles and we're going to tape them right on here. Now you can either, this is a two-sided paper, so I can either just match it up like so, or I can turn it on the other side to give it a little more. I think I like that side. I think I'll do this side for this one. So now we'll just tape these on. Now these have ornaments on it, so I'm just going to make sure that they're going the correct way. So now we have that on there. So now what we're going to do, we want this to stand up. So we're going to take our circle image of the sweater that we already colored, and we're going to place it on here, but it's a little bigger than the actual section, so we're only going to put adhesive on the bottom half. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this and I'm going to put it on the bottom section here. So now we have our stand-up section all done. So now we're going to do our section that's going to hold our card up. What I have here is I stamped out the saying, "Break out the ugly sweaters, it's Christmas time." I have this old punch. I'm just going to punch out the saying. It just fits in there. So now I have my saying. And I like to always stamp first on a piece of cardstock and then cut it out. I find it a lot easier to do. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this same punch. I'm going to take some of the red cardstock and I'm going to punch out one and punch out two more. Now we're going to layer this onto our saying. How we're going to do that is we're going to take one of the punch outs, we're going to cut it lengthwise, then we're going to cut off this little edge, flip it over, cut off the other edge, and we're going to do that on both of them. Now we have these two sections. Now for the second piece, we're going to cut that in the opposite direction. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut off this extra here. Now we have these 4 pieces. We're going to layer our stamp saying. So first we're going to take these 2 pieces. I'm just going to lay this down like so. I'm going to take my saying, just place it right on there like that. And I put tape on here, so I'm going to do the same thing. A little crooked. Let's straighten that up. There we go. So So now we have these two ends done. Now we're going to do the top and the bottom. Again, we need to put some tape on there. And now, it's messy on the back, but we don't have to worry about that. Now we have our saying that is outlined. And we only used one punch. So now we're going to take this and we're going to put some double stick foam tape on the back. And we're just going to layer that, mount that right on the middle of the card here, and that is what holds our card. And that is the center fold easel card. So there's this one, and we put the one bow over here, and then when we close it, it lays flat and fits in an envelope. Then I have this one where I did 3 bows, and this one with no bows. What do you think? Do you like the bows? Yes or no? So that's our card for today. I hope you liked it. And remember to visit stampingsueinconnecticut.blogspot.com to see more cards that I've made. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and come back again soon. Bye!